Hi FlossTube, it's Jen. This is my second FlossTube video and it is Monday, June 13th. I have wanted to make this video for a couple days now and it's been very difficult to do pretty much anything. My 3-month-old has decided that she doesn't want to nap, and so it's made it so I don't really have time to do anything. She's actually laying in my lap right now, and hopefully she'll let me get through the video. This one's probably going to be kind of short anyway. I haven't had too much time to stitch yet, so only a couple updates. First, I want to thank everyone for watching my video and for hitting that thumbs up and for subscribing. My first video I was a little nervous to make it, but you've made it a wonderful experience and I thank you. Also, Jo Gregoire, I hope I said that right, she had a shout out in her most recent video, and I don't know if she does it in every video. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch more of her videos, but she watches people's videos and then does a little shout out and has a little something that she says about each person, and the way that she reacts to YouTube videos is hilarious, and she seems like a lot of fun. So if you haven't checked out her channel yet, you should. She seems like an awesome lady. Thank you to all the people that commented about my Mira picture. It sounds like it's totally fine, and that's what the pictures used to look like. It's still a little weird to me that the back of the photo says it was from a pharmacy, but I don't know. Maybe that's normal too. Who knows? I'm happy that I have the pattern. I'm excited to start it at some point, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Let's see. So this week, like I said, it's been busy. It's been hard with the baby. And my son graduated from preschool on Wednesday, and so we had a little party for him, and then he's been home, and then we had family visiting, so I didn't have a lot of time to stitch. I usually stitch in the evenings after the kids go to bed, and I've also been trying to fit in workouts in the evenings after the kids go to bed, and by the time I get to my stitching, I do a couple stitches and I fall asleep. So it hasn't been great for that, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to fit in all of the things that I would like to do in the day, and hopefully I'll get better at it soon because I would like to do a lot more stitching than I have been. Oh, sweetie. So the one project that I did get to work on was my Zodiac sampler from Clouds Factory, and I showed this last time as one of my whips, and I was on the Taurus or the May frame, or the May area, and last week when I showed this to you guys, I had, I think this, the smaller circle, and I had the bottom of the bigger one done. So when I first started stitching this time, I did the small section, and then I finished the top, and then I filled in the actual Taurus, and then I did the constellation. So this I've been kind of working on for wine and whips, and it is definitely a wine. I commented last time about how I kept messing up on the frames in the last couple of months, and sure enough, the first time I started stitching, I messed up in this little section over here. It's one stitch too high, and I'm trying to tell myself to not worry about it, it's not noticeable, and just leave it, but it's really hard when you want it to, like, look right. So nobody's gonna notice. I have to leave it. For this project, I'm using the called for fabric, so it's a 32 count Gothic Belfast from Picture This Plus. And the only changes I've made to this are in the frames. So I skipped the satin floss. I knew that it would drive me insane and then I probably wouldn't stitch the project and I'd give up because it would just make me mad or I'd have to rip it all out. So I just went with the regular cotton DMC, and I'm using 3820 for that, for the gold. The other changes I made was I am using glow-in-the-dark thread. So in the white parts of the moon phases and all of the stars that are scattered throughout that are white, so these little ones, I'm using the glow-in-the-dark, and I'm also using the glow-in-the-dark in the constellations. So it looks really cool when it's lit up at night. It's hard to get a photo of it, but as I get closer to finishing, maybe I'll take a photo and see if I can insert it in one of my videos. So I'm planning to keep working on this. Hold on a second, sweetie. And I didn't really notice until I was stitching this time that I'm done with May, and next up is June. So I think for the future, which I didn't really have a plan, I had some things I wanted to work on, but no real plan. I think that I am going to continue and try to finish up June before the end of the month, and then I'll put this away and try to work on other things. So while I didn't actually plan to stitch it month by month, I think that since I'm kind of there and there are other things I'd like to work on, then that might be perfect. And then there is my Ron needle minder. It's a new one that I have. So that's the only thing I worked on. The other things that I want to work on, the next one is my Once Upon a Time sampler. I showed you this last time, and I figured out that I am done with May, and so next up is June. So I'm also going to stitch this in a monthly fashion so that I can work on this one to progress, but then keep working on other projects as well. This project is stitched on the called for fabric, so it's the Crystal Doubloon from Picture This Plus. The changes that I've made to this are in the frame. So the frame in the pattern has dark blue for most of this stuff out here, and I didn't really like the dark blue, and so I switched it to gray, and I'm using the same gray that is used in the center parts of the frame. So I think it's 844. So I did that for all of the frame on the outside. The other change I made was to my title frame and the months. And this lighting is not as good as the lighting that I had in the living room last time. But it's this pretty kind of dark tealy color. I think it's DMC 3809. So I really like how it pops in those frames. I'm really happy with that change. So I'm going to continue working on this. Like I said, I'm probably going to work on this next because it would be nice to have a little break from Zodiac. So I'll go ahead and pick up on June. And this is a little wooden unicorn needle minder. Let's see. Last time I showed you that I had started on Over the Rainbow. This one's the one from Cross Stitch Crazy, 215 from May. And I just had little windows. I haven't worked on this, but I'm going to try to fit this in when I get done with some of the monthly stuff. So maybe after I do Once Upon a Time example, or maybe I'll give this a little bit of time. We'll see. And this is just a glittery star needle minder. I finally decided which soda stitch pattern I'm going to start with. Roxy! Roxy, it's okay. Our dog. I mentioned last time that we have a big Doberman, and I probably wouldn't be able to make it through too many videos without her barking. And there we go. She's very protective. So I finally decided on the soda stitch pattern that I want to start, and I'm waiting, like I said, to do the Halloween pattern. So I think it's called something witches. And then I'm also waiting to do in the Fairy Tales book for the stitch along that's going to be in the soda stitching group on Facebook. They're going to do that a little later this year. So I'm waiting to do those ones. So I'm going to start with alphabet learning. And this pattern's really cute. I'm planning to put it in the playroom or maybe one of the kids' rooms. I am planning to leave off the alphabet from the bottom. I don't really care for it. I don't think we need it. And I have so many other things that have the alphabet on it already. And I also don't think it'll fit on my fabric. So it just happens to work out that way. And I'm going to be stitching this on a tea-colored Monaco cloth. I thought about doing linen or something, but I already have the Monaco cloth, and I really like the way my stitches look because they're nice and even on Monaco, so I'm just going to use that. And then I have a little pastel lollipop needle minder that I'm going to use on that one. I have a lot of needle minders because I make them, so I tend to use a different needle minder each day that I stitch on a project, so these are kind of set up for the next time I stitch. Let's see. So that's it for my plans for what I'm going to do in the upcoming week or two. I have a tiny bit of haul. I actually thought I wasn't going to have any haul, but I forgot that I had ordered when Stitchy Box had, I think there was just, maybe these were just on sale, I don't remember, but I got them on sale through Stitchy Box, and they are the DMC Coloris threads. So they're variegated. They're really pretty. I have no plans for these at all other than to hoard them and then eventually find something to stitch up with them. I don't know. I may have already shown you that one. But they're really pretty. There's a variety of colors and variations in there. There's a pretty one that might be good for something Christmassy. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But I like to hoard floss, so it's good to have them, right? I have every DMC color, and I'm continuing that by getting the Chloris colors. I've been spending a lot of time bobbinating too. I don't get a lot of time to stitch, but if I have a moment or two, I will wrap some bobbins. I commented about working out a lot, so we have a little mini gym set up in our downstairs, and between weightlifting, or during my weightlifting set breaks, I wind bobbins. I don't know, what's the weirdest place or weirdest time that you have wound bobbins? I want to know, because I feel really silly like taking my break and winding bobbins. Nobody can see me, but I don't know. What's the weirdest place that you have bobbinated? Okay. Last, I have been going through boxes. We cleaned up that downstairs so that we could set up like a little mini gym, and I've been finding really crazy stitchy things that I didn't even remember that I had. And so I found this. It was in a box that my grandmother had given me after my grandfather died. He had, I think this might have actually been his. He used to do crewel work, and so he stitched. And this project was just in like a random box. I think it was like a soap box. I didn't even know what was going to be in it when I opened this box up. And it's this little stitchy kit. I don't know if you can see this because of the windows behind me. But it says on it that it's a scarf. It says scarf 14 by 36. It looks like maybe it's supposed to be like a table runner or something. I don't know. But on the ends it has this kind of floral pattern. It has a few little butterflies. It's really pretty. And it came with all the threads that you need to stitch it up. So I might try to stitch this at some point. Oh, it also has little eyelets on the edge, and it has directions for crocheting an edge around it, or a border. So I might give that a try. It's kind of fun to find random things that you forgot you had, especially with this, like it wasn't even mine to begin with, so it's almost like I don't know, magic that it showed up. So maybe I'll do that someday, maybe I won't, maybe I'll save it in case my kids want to do it, who knows. Anyway, so those are my plans, my little mini haul, my found treasures, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing my work, and I hope you'll join me again for my next video, and until then, happy stitching!